First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Jacob. Jacob, you there? Jacob, you might be on mute. Go ahead and continue.
Here.
Hey, Jacob, I had you on mute. That was user error. Are you here? Jacob, are you there? Sorry, Jacob. And I also didn't have him on speaker, too. Can you go?
You want me to call you right back?
No, you're good. Jacob's here. That was 100% on me. That's embarrassing. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the nomination and election of Planning Commission officers. So it is a new year. We need to nominate the officers for the president and vice president. Is there someone who would like to make a nomination?
I'll nominate David Mills, Mr. President.
And we need someone to nominate vice president as well, please.
Vic Mays.
Okay, so that is a nomination for Vic Mays for vice president and a nomination for myself for president. We have to have three separate nominations. So is there anyone else who would like to make a nomination for either of the two positions?
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Jim Dottrell for Vice President.
That's a second vice president nomination. Is there any additional nomination for president? Is there any additional nomination for vice president?
Move the nominations.
Are we able to move forward with a split nomination on vice president? I did ask 3 times. I will, if we cannot move forward, I would go ahead
Mr.
and...
President, I would remove myself as nominated for Vice President.
Thank you, Vic. And please make note that Mr. Ellis is here, please. Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is nomination and election of ordinance review subcommittee members. So this
Second.
getting ahead of myself. So back to the agenda item number 4, the nomination and election of officers. There was a nomination for president for David Mills, myself. There was a nomination for Jim Dodrell as vice president. Vic Mays was also nominated, but he removed his name as vice president. Would someone be interested in putting that into a motion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, David. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, the next item is the same nomination and election of officers for the Ordinance Review Subcommittee members. So currently, we have 6 subcommittee members on the Ordinance Review Subcommittee. We are required to have 7. So I would look to any member in attendance to volunteer themselves if they would like to join that subcommittee. We can only have 1 additional member on that subcommittee. Those who are currently on the actually, we would need 2, excuse me, we need to take Jason from here. So Jim Dodrell is on that, Dave Haba, Brian Hoyleman, myself, and Jacob Pack. So we do need 2 additional members to be a part of that subcommittee. Okay, please make record that Mr. Commissioner Ellis volunteered. Is there anyone else who would have an interest? Okay, thank you. So that would be 7 members, just like the nomination and election of officers. Would someone put that in motion, please?
Move that those members be.
Okay.
And I move that the nomination be closed and that be accepted by acclamation.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next item is the action on the minutes from the November 21st meeting. Hopefully you've had a chance to review those. Does anyone have any items that they would like to have further clarity or any issues with the minutes?
And I move they be accepted as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. Next item is citizens' concerns, and this is related to anything that would not be on the agenda for discussion this evening. Are there any citizens who would like to address any concerns that they might have? Seeing none, we will close that and move into the public portion of the meeting. The first item on the agenda is Alexander's Place, and before we get into the staff summary, we need to address any disclosures of conflict.
I would like to recuse myself.
Thank you, Dave.
Point of order, question. Dave has to excuse himself. Does that remove our quorum so that we cannot take action?
We still have 8, so we are
We still have
okay. Yeah, Jacob's on the line.
All right.
Yep. But very good question. Judy, go ahead.
Good evening. We're here to hear a proposal for Phase 3 Ruffner Circle in Alexander's Place Major Subdivision. FBD LLC applied to the Office of Planning and Infrastructure for the development of Alexander's Place Phase 3 Ruffner Circle. It's a 26-lot major subdivision on a 52-plus acre minus a parcel. Ruffner Circle is off Alexander Avenue, tax map 162, parcel 95 in Fraser's Bottom. I want to give you a little history about the property. The proposed Phase 3 Ruffner Circle at Alexander's Place, FBD LLC, came to the office on September the 19th of 2023 to submit a zoning request for tax map 162, parcel 95. The zoning ordinance requires the minimum lot area for a single-family home to be 6,600 square feet, and the applicant requested 5,400 square feet. Also, the minimum lot width is 60 feet. The applicant requested 40. The variance requests were approved on December 4th of 2023. Alexander's Place Major Subdivision received final approval in 2021 for certain lots and have been constructing single-family homes and residences since that time. Phase 1 approval equals approximately 52 lots, Phase 2, 42, and Phase 3 will consist of 26 lots. The applicant submitted a disclosure statement on December 6, 2023, that is attachment A. It was legally advertised in the Hurricane Breeze, and the abutters within 100 feet were notified, that is attachment B. Deed showing ownership of the land is attachment C. There's a reduced preliminary copy of the plat, that is attachment D. Attachment E is a zoning map showing all parcels within the tax district there. Parcel 117 is 67 acres, that's zoned RR. Our parcels within the 162G designation are single-family residential lots in Alexander's Place and Zone C1. Tax map 162 parcel 94 is 36 acres and is vacant in Zone C2. Tax map 162 parcel 30 is 71 acres. The majority of this parcel is zoned R2. A portion of the parcel adjacent to 817 is zoned C2, and the portion of the greenhouse and the market businesses are C2. 911 approved the addressing for Ruffner Circle, that is attachment F. There is a LOMA attached as attachment G, which removes the Alexander's Place from flood zone. Lee McCoy, the county engineer, approved it. His letter is attachment H. Public water and service is provided. Bridging to the future is attachment I. Photographs of the site is attachment J, and resolution 2383 is included as attachment K. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Are there any questions for staff? Thank you, Judy. Does the applicant or developer have any comments that they would like to make? Please state your name and address too, please.
So my name is Joseph Haba. I work for Dave Haba. I also have Jason Asbury on speaker. He's with Pterodon, so he'll be available if there's any questions for him. I live in Boxwood Drive, Winfield. So, as was mentioned, there is a LOMA. All of Alexander's Place is it's not in the floodplain. We have a letter from PSD, so there is sewer capacity available for this. We also, yesterday, Bowen Research put out their research for the whole region that our development authority paid for, and the biggest need for this area outside of affordable housing is single-family homes between $300,000 and $400,000, of which all homes on Ruffner Circle will be. And then, as was mentioned, BZA approved it on December 4th. So do you all have any questions for me or Jason Asbury?
Are there any questions for Mr. Haba or Mr. Asbury?
Okay, Mr. Asbury, do you have anything to add?
No, not at this time, other than I do believe Mr. McCoy has approved this, and as stated, we've met the county ordinances and requirements that's been set forth from an engineering perspective.
Ask him to repeat that.
Could you repeat that?
So I do believe that we have received approval from planning or through Mr. McCoy's office that Pterodon has met the ordinance requirements for this major subdivision.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public who would like to make a comment? Okay, that will close the public portion of this item. The next direction is for this commission to go ahead and deliberate and potentially make a motion. Does anyone have an opinion? I'll go ahead and speak up with my opinion. I believe the major subdivision does meet the standards that are set forth for the county. Mr. Haba has substantial experience in building homes. The first phase of Alexander's Place is proof of that. Furthermore, the BZA has already approved both of the variances. All the abutting landowners were provided the opportunity to make a comment. I know as of the date of the report, none had been made. And then, yeah, sorry, I muted you, Jacob, because they were getting some feedback. And then lastly, the county engineer also recommended approval of the major subdivision as well. And then to the points of Mr. Haba, we all are well aware of, the need for, housing within the market, and especially with, what the anticipated growth is with the new jobs that are coming into Putnam County and the surrounding counties. So those are my opinions. Does anyone else have an opinion?
Just a question. This would be an extension, a new, I guess, up, is it north or east?
So it is an extension, it's an extension off Alexander Ave.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it looks like it's maybe northwest. And then in the covenants, it does say that the declarant has the right to annex additional property. And I felt to mention that all these homes will fit, even though it's a narrow lot, they still fit all the covenant restrictions for home size.
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture in my head, I've been out there. The road at the bottom there with the cul-de-sac on the end on the right, those are already there. Those houses are there, right? That's what I thought. Okay. I'm trying to get my bearings.
I did the same thing, Jim, so where this is going is closer to 817 than the prior development. Does anyone else have any comments?
President, I move we classify Alexander Place as a major subdivision.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item that we would have to consider is to approve or deny the major subdivision with or without conditions.
I'll just move to approve it with any conditions that are already in place for the remainder of the development. If there are any, keep them. If not,
And there is a homeowners association which this would fall under.
Okay.
Okay.
We actually elected the board, I think Tuesday, this last Tuesday.
Okay.
But everyone in the community is aware, and there's no issues.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Dodrell made a motion. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And then the last item would be approval, to approve or deny the resolution. Does anyone have an opinion?
that has the conditions.
Yes, so Mr. Pack made a motion, and just to go on record, I did speak with Mr. Call, and nothing stood out in the resolution that caused him concern. Sorry for speaking for you, David, but that was our conversation. So, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda would be the annual report.
Okay, so that time of year for us to go over the annual report for the previous calendar year. 2023 annual report is file number 04 on your iPads, titled 2023 Annual Report. Starting on page 4 through 6 is an outline of the estimated construction cost of commercial and industrial development permits for 2023, calendar year 2023, which you'll see is $14,424,752. Go to the next page, page number 7. You see a bar graph, which is estimated commercial construction costs between 2013 and 2023. You see that over the last 10-year average, we've averaged $17.9 million per year of estimated construction commercial costs. The $14.4 million in 2023 was a decrease of 20% compared to the last 10-year average. However, it was an increase of 4% compared to last year. On page number 8, titled Growth in Putnam County, you will see that we had 45 commercial/industrial permits for the calendar year of 2023. Over the last 20-year average, we averaged 28 of these type of permits. The last 10-year average, we averaged 32. The 45 that we had in 2023 was an increase of 61% compared to the last 20-year average. It was an increase of 41% compared to the last 10-year average. However, it was a decrease of 33% compared to 2022.
Why was 2022 an outlier, if you look historically? Do we know off the top of our head?
Let's see, 2022, we just had a lot of commercial development. If you look at the bar graph on the next page, we had a lot more number of commercial permits, not necessarily more in commercial development value, but we had more permits. I would say a lot of that could be
A lot more permits in 2022, but we had
Less
construction.
Yep.
costs.
right.
I was just curious, David, you can continue.
Right. Okay, that was page number 9. You see pages 10 through the next several pages. You'll see photographic examples of commercial development that has taken place in the county in 2023. As you scroll through those, we will come to the next graph on page 19, which is single-family residential permits between 2003 and 2023. You see in 2023, we had 107 single-family residential permits. Over the last 20 years, we averaged 161. Over the last 10 years, we averaged 122. The 107 we had in 2023 was a decrease of 34% compared to the 20-year average. It was a decrease of 12% compared to the 10-year average, and was a decrease of 5% compared to 2022. And if you scroll to the next page, page 20, you'll see a bar graph that shows the difference, visual difference between 2003 and 2023. Of course, we had the dip from COVID, and then we recovered from that. And 2023 was very similar to 2022, slightly less. Now, a very interesting page is page 21. You will see that in the years 2019 and 2020, that manufactured homes outpaced stick-built homes. And you'll see also in 2023 that manufactured homes also slightly outpaced stick-built homes. You'll see examples of single-family residential development over the next several pages in your report. Most of these are from the lovely homes in Alexander's Place. When you get to page 35, you see an approved major subdivision, which was recently approved by this board, the Oaks at Clayton Point, which they haven't actually started working on yet, but that is a photograph of that. And then the next page, 36, is a multifamily residential development that was recently approved. The residence is at Jordan Place here in town, which will be a multifamily residential development, which they're working on now. Recently, the residences at Paul's Place was a multifamily residential development here in Winfield that was recently completed. Also on page 40, you'll see a multifamily residential development that was recently completed on Tays Valley Road, which was, Tays Terrace. That's correct. On page 41, you'll see the history of development permits between 03 and 2023. You see in 23, we had 208. Over the last 20-year average, we averaged 226. The last 10-year average, however, we averaged 189. So you see the 208 in 23 was a decrease of 8% over the 20-year average, but it was an increase of 10% over the 10-year average. And it was a slight decrease over what we had in 2022. The next page, page 42, you'll see a bar graph, which is representative of that. You see that we did have a rebound in development permits after the pandemic. The next page on 43, you'll see, I'll call this a stacked graph, which has the differences or the comparison between the site-built homes, multifamily, manufactured homes, commercial permits, accessory structures, and others. On page 44 is a pie chart relative to development permits for 2023. You will see that 27%, which is manufactured homes, was the predominant figure there. Next would be the site-built homes. Then the accessories for 23%, and 22% was commercial permits. Page 45, you will see zoning permit approvals between 2013 and 2023. In 23, we had 61. Over the last 10-year average, we averaged 66 of these. Of course, our 61 was a slight decrease over the of 8% compared to the 10-year average, and a decrease of 20% compared to 2022. And on the next page, on page 46, you'll see a bar graph representative of that. The next page, page 47, you'll see zoning permit approvals represented in a pie chart. And you'll see that sign permits are the bulk there, 46%. The next would be, zoning accessories, then a change of land use, and also temporary permits. But you see that the sign permits are the bulk of the zoning permits. And on the following pages, you will see representations of a change of land use permits with sign permits. As you scroll through there, and then you will eventually get to representatives of sign permits that we worked on in 2023. It goes down to through page 69. You get to page 70, we have zoning issue approvals between 2013 and 2023. Let's see, we had 14 of those. In 2023, the last 10-year average, we averaged 15 per year. In 2023, we had 14, which is a slight decrease, and then we had a slight decrease between 2022 and 2023, but very close. The next page, well, you'll see page 71, zoning issues is a bar graph representative of.
Dave, real quick, a question for you. So on
Sure.
that zoning issue approvals,
Mhm.
down in the bottom there, the totals, you have R at 22, A at 14. What do those each stand for?
Oh, yes, requested is 22 and
Okay.
approved is 14.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And now on page 72, you'll see a pie chart relative to zoning issue approvals. See that the lion's share of those are text amendments. And next, we have special permits and rezonings. On page 73, major subdivision preliminary plat approvals between 13 and 2023. In 2023, we had 52 lots of major subdivision approval. On page 74, you see a bar graph relative to this comparison between 2013 and 2023. The 10-year average was 42 lots of major subdivision development. We had 52 in 23 was an increase of 24% compared to the last 10-year average, and was a huge increase over 2022. The next page is minor subdivision plat approvals, 03 through 2023. We had 30 of those. Last 20-year average was 36. Last 10-year average was 25. Our 30 plats approved in 2023 was a decrease of 17% compared to the last 20-year average, but was an increase of 20% compared to the last 10-year average. It was also a huge increase of 88% compared to 2022. And you see a bar graph representative of that on the next page, page 76. Other subdivision classifications between 2013 and 2023. In 2023, we had 97. Last 10-year average, we had 87. So 97 was an increase of 11% compared to the last 10-year average. It was a decrease, however, of 22% compared to 2022. And you'll see a bar graph representative of that comparison on page 78. See, page 79 is a pie chart relative to the others, we call other subdivision classifications, and you'll see that the lion's share of these classifications are mergers and or boundary changes. Now on page 80, you'll see the municipality of Buffalo. We had 13 permits in 2023. The last 10-year average, we averaged 6, so we had a big increase in 2023 over that, and also an increase over 2022. Now in Polka, not much going on there, and in Bancroft, the same. Approved fiscal year budgets between the fiscal year of 2013 to 2014 through 2023/2024. You'll see in our fiscal year budget of 23 to 24 was $429,080. You see an accompanying bar graph on that same page, on page 83. On the next page of 84, we discuss revenues. For the fiscal year of 2022 to 2023, we took in $68,342. The last 10-year average was just under $60,000, $59,837. So our 22 to 23 figure was an increase of 14% compared to the last 10-year average, but was a decrease of 13% compared to the 21 to 22 fiscal year, which you'll see in the bar graph there to the right on page 84. Page 85 is a description of the dilapidated and abandoned enforcement agency. You'll see that we had 23 cases closed in 2023. And the next pages are pictorial representations of successful day cases that we had in 2023. On 86 and 87, you'll see that there was a parcel that had 3 dilapidated and abandoned mobile homes that we were able to get those cleared off. These are just representations of successful cases. And you'll see on page 88 in the following pages where we had a dilapidated and abandoned structure there in Marina Park that we were recently able to get removed and get the parcel reclaimed back to maintainable condition. You'll see that through page 92. And 93 is simply a description of the Planning Commission and the duties that this commission carries forth, as well as the Board of Zoning Appeals on 94, and our office, the Office of Planning and Infrastructure, on page 95. So that is a brief synopsis of the work that this office has done in 2023.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for staff? I don't have a question, but just a comment. The report looks fantastic. It's very well put together, so job well done, guys.
I'd like to thank my staff for all their help, and Denise especially, on compiling all of this data. Worked very hard.
It looks wonderful.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
How is this put together for who funds that?
The demolition of the dilapidated and abandoned structures. When the county commission will rule that a structure should be removed, then I'll put that out to bid. And there's this particular threshold of this unit in Marina Park. We didn't have to put it out to competitive bid because it was less than a certain dollar value. We awarded the contractor, and he presents us with a bid, and I oversee the work and make sure that the work is done to the specifications on his proposal, and then we sign off on it. Yes, sir, absolutely. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was just in court yesterday relative to one of these photographs about that. Yes, sir.
Any other questions for staff? And Dave, just real quick, and I should have mentioned this earlier, but we have 2 representatives from the county sheriff's office here, so I want to say thank you both for attending. You're more than welcome to stick out the rest of the meeting, but I believe, my opinion, you would be able to leave if you would choose to do so. But thank you guys for being here. I saw a bag of chips back in the planning department. Thank you both.
You were misled.
Thank you, guys. We will bring donuts next time. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, real quick, before we move on to a few other things, I would like to let the board know that our next scheduled meeting is for Thursday, February 22nd at 6. But I would like for all of you to put on your calendars that Thursday, April 25th meeting has been moved to Wednesday, April 17th at 6, and that is due to conflict with early voting here in the courtroom. So I want to make sure everybody gets that on their calendar.
You said 4/17?
Yeah, it is Wednesday, April 17th at 6.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the February date is the 22nd. 2026. And our next item is our permit report, our monthly permit report. I think it's the next item on your iPads, yes. The open permits are Pilot Travel Center. We last contacted them on the January 22nd. There is some floodplain information needed relative to elevation data that is pending. KC Logistics Truck Terminal, we're waiting on the town of Buffalo to verify some stormwater issues. We contacted them on the 23rd. Last contact, Mr. Reed Towing Service on 817 here. He's working with Bethesda on a potential redesign. We're waiting on that submittal from them. I actually spoke to him on the 4th of January. Meeks Rental, which is a multifamily development. We are awaiting an elevation certificate and survey recordation on that. We spoke to them on the 22nd of January. Dollar General on 817 between here and St. Albans. There's also some outstanding stormwater data that we're waiting on, and we last spoke to them on the 18th. We're waiting on their response. The Ruffner Circle, Alexander's Place, we took care of that business here tonight. And the Buffalo Church of God Fellowship Center, we last spoke to them on the 12th, and we're working with the town engineer relative to the issues there, which is our building location and some stormwater issues.
Any questions for staff?
If there are no further questions, I would like to once again read about our comprehensive plan update that this office is working on for 2024 and beyond. If I can read a brief statement. The Office of Planning and Infrastructure is in the process of updating the Putnam County Comprehensive Plan document for the year of 2024 and beyond. West Virginia Code dictates that the plan be updated every 10 years. The comprehensive plan document was last updated in 2014. The comprehensive plan document presents a narrative of the current conditions of Putnam County. The narrative showcases both the areas in which Putnam County has excelled and issues that could be improved upon. The plan provides guidance for decision-making by highlighting community goals. Each section offers actions for achieving the community vision. The comprehensive plan is a tool to help facilitate the achievement of the community goal of continuing the vision of improving quality of life to make Putnam County a better place to live, work, and play. To update the plan for 2024 and beyond, this office is soliciting comments from residents of the county. The following are topics of inquiry relative to the public's level of satisfaction regarding growth the county has experienced in the past 10 years, the county's transportation infrastructure, aka roads, bridges, public transit, the county's utility infrastructure, such as water, sewer, internet, the quality of life in the county's public safety services, such as the Sheriff's Department, EMS, the Fire Department, the economic development the county has experienced in the last 10 years. We're using Putnam County's new website, and more specifically, this office's individual page to obtain opinions and priorities from the residency via a user-friendly public input questionnaire. The questionnaire can be accessed via a link on the county's new website, which allows the user to answer the questions posed above in a ranking system, with 1 being very dissatisfied and 5 being very satisfied. There's also a comments section that accompanies each question so the participant can expand upon their rankings with specific comments. The Office of Planning and Infrastructure encourages each resident of Putnam County to make their voices heard by visiting www.putnamcountywv.gov. From the county's landing page, you can access this office's specific page where the public input questionnaire can be quickly and easily completed. Your rankings and specific comments will be tabulated relative to each question and forwarded to our office for review. Our goal is to update the county's comprehensive plan for 2024 and beyond with emphasis on the citizenry's opinions and priorities. Thank you for letting me read that.
So will this memo be posted up on the website as guidance for anyone who wants to fill out that survey?
Oh, yes, it is on our website, as well as a copy of the current plan, which you have in front of you. And it has each question with the rankings and a opportunity and a blank space for everybody to put their specific comments relative to each question. And that is those are rolling in. We're pleased, we're super pleased with the amount of response.
Great.
And we're tabulating those responses at the moment.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Any other questions related to the comprehensive plan? Dave? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Mr. President, can I ask a question
Yes.
before we adjourn? I noticed that we had a call on our meeting this evening. And of course, I knew before. Do we have anything like that in our bylaws that were covered that we could call in? I mean, I didn't know, so that's why I'm asking.
I believe the answer would be yes, correct? We do
Yeah, I
not have
can,
any. David?
Yeah, I can expand upon that. Matter of fact, I met with our county attorney, Mr. Fry, this afternoon prior to this meeting. And the West Virginia Ethics Committee, we have a blurb on this from April of 2020, Volume 5 of the Ethics News, West Virginia Open Meeting Act. A meeting covered by the Act is a convening of a quorum of a governing body of subcommittee in order to make a decision or deliberation towards a decision. Meetings may be held by telephone conference or other electronic means, such as video conference. So I spoke with Mr. Fry, and he said as long as the person on the phone can hear everything that's going on here, and as long as we can hear everything that the person on the phone has to say, that falls within the ethics.
Mr. Pauly, that should answer your question.
Yeah, I didn't know we had that option there, so that may be something helpful for me going forward.
I would say that we would prefer for you to be in person,
Oh,
if at all
absolutely.
possible. It's
Absolutely.
definitely a last resort. Go ahead,
I
Jim.
was just gonna say, I don't want to encourage people not to show up, but to make it easier on members who are going to miss, if we could, I don't know if it'd be helpful, I don't want to put any more work on you guys, but put something in place, like a standing Zoom number or Zoom meeting, where you don't have to sit there with your cell phone, the whole meeting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could set something up to where there'd be a laptop or something, even on one of these iPads, if you hook up to the internet. Set up a standing Zoom meeting for this, so that if you do miss, you can call in. Same time, same place. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, Zoom would be one option, or another option would be if we
Microsoft
had
Teams, I know the state uses Teams.
the ability to connect a speaker to a landline and have a call-in number, and then have the speaker, central to where it would be, between, a couple of the microphones, so when, members spoke, it would be picked up, but also they would be able to hear as well.
Link it in the audio system.
Yeah, I think it is important. Now, the actual bylaws say that no action of the commission shall be official unless authorized by a majority of the members present. However, I did speak to Mr. Fry, and he gave me this copy of this April 2020 Volume 5 Ethics issue relative to the electronic means. So, again, I would reiterate what you said. I would stress to try to be here, but if you can't, then,
Thank you.
there are options, yeah.
One other thing I'd like to share too before we adjourn. Of course, everybody knows here I'm representing the West Virginia Farm Bureau. That being said, last month, my farm was recognized as being a century farm. So it's been in our family for over years. So that's how long we've been here in Putnam County. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Congratulations.
I'd like to make a comment that I am the commission representative here on this board. I've been on here for a year now, and I purposely don't say a lot in this meeting, just because I don't want, you know, everyone to think that the commission is trying to influence this in a certain way. So let all of the other board make the decision. I do have a vote. And I do appreciate everybody that comes out and shows up for this meeting, because, you know, we catch a lot of flack on this a lot of times. But I just wanted to say thank you for everybody. It's been my first year of this board, and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Any other comments from the group? We'll then ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.